Oh, wasn't expecting to see anyone else here today. Who are you with? I see. Me? Well, I'm Anthony Allen, but everyone round here calls me Arthur's kid. My pa's upstairs collecting some more stock to take over to Ireland next week, and some paperwork. He's a travelling salesman, good at it too. He's told me to stay in the courtyard and keep out of trouble. Have you ever been here before? Never. Look, my pa's going to be gone for ages. Why don't I show you around? I was coming here since I was about 7. Know the place better than anyone around here. Never known the factory so quiet, mind. Come on, we'll give you something to do while we wait. Fine way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Well, you must have heard about this place. From your ma. Newman Brothers provide the best coffin fittings in all of England. Maybe even the world. Did you know that the royal family have got coffin fittings from Newman Brothers, as well as Prime Minister Joseph Chamberlain? I've been told that funeral directors keep a stock of coffin fittings for when a very important or famous person gets buried. But don't you go around here thinking they make coffins. Everybody thinks that. They never have and never will do, I'm told. They just make the handles here, the breastplates and the fabric furnishings that go on the inside of the coffin. This is the courtyard of the factory. Where we are standing was where the back-to-back housing was before the factory was built. Not a very nice place to live, them back-to-backs. So they got rid of them and filled the whole street with factories instead. Mr. Alfred Newman, although folks around here call him Old Man Newman, but don't let him catch you calling him that or give you a clip round the ear. Old Man Newman told me that he built this factory especially to produce coffin fittings in 1892. That was at the end of the Victorian era, and the funeral trade was booming. Back then, funerals were very big business. Nowadays, people save up for a new phone, a new TV, maybe a holiday, but back then, people would spend their entire lives saving up for just a nice funeral. If you had expensive coffin fittings, people thought very highly of you. Coffin fittings were the bling of Victorian times. Of course, back then, people died in much higher numbers due to little medicine, dangerous jobs, and poor hygiene. But times are much better now. Yes, sir, the 1930s is a far better time to live. The Newman family are Catholic, and they had their goods sold on to funeral directors of Christian burials, so keep an eye out for crosses and crucifixes around the building. Both the high death rate and the importance of religion of England in the Victorian era contributed to the success of the Newman Brothers. The Newman Brothers were, and still are, the best of the best as coffin fittings go. Have you noticed all the big windows? When the factory was made, they didn't have electricity or even gas lights. They had to rely only on sunlight, and they needed as much as that as they could get. There were 94 windows around the factory. The courtyard is a very busy and exciting place to be most days. A bit dangerous too. I'm lucky you can even hear me over the sound of the gas engine in the furnaces. Usually there is smoke, flames and sparks flying everywhere as they cast the brass handles. The molten brass is dangerously hot, and the two men who work in the casting shed, big, tough types, don't even wear a mask. Usually, the engine can be heard all the way from Summer Row. Above it are the staff toilets. But today's the day of rest for all our senses. When the engine is on, it's like sitting on a very loud washing machine that sounds like it might just explode at any moment. It isn't a really nice place to, well, you know, go. Now don't you go wandering off around here on your own. That dippy shed is full of harsh chemicals they use to clean the metal surfaces. It's said that they can turn your hair green if you spend too much time around it. Which door did you come through when you arrived? Office workers and salesmen like my father come through the front door, but everybody else that works here comes through the courtyard doors. I'm not sure if Mr. Horace will be pleased that people are tramping dirt into his office. Just inside the courtyard doors are two smaller doors built into the walls. This is where the goods would have come to be loaded and unloaded. Have you noticed that they're a perfect height for horse and carriage? More lorries have started to be used these days. It's a bit of an improvement because the horses kept leaving little presents behind them, if you know what I mean. You better mind you don't step in any. But there's a shovel over there by the manure shed if you want to impress the bosses. Well, take your time, and when you're ready, I'll show you the stamp room and the machines. But I've got to warn you, it comes with a severe health warning. Just be careful and mind your step as you go in.